This is Fam Electric Ghost. In this episode, I'm a musician, podcaster, producer. And this episode, we're going to talk about expansive sound and music production. We got a video that's going to describe our DAW, and it's something we've been into for a long time. And we're just going to go and show that video to explain how we actually produce music. It's a little different than what people do. You heard the term DAW, which is digital audio workstation. And we're going to go into more depth. We're a DAW-less producer. We use actual hardware recorders and hardware synthesizers to create what we call sound paintings or expansive sound experiments, which is free form music that's beyond normal genre as rock, punk. That's what we like to do. But on the top, we'll just talk about our sponsor. You listen to us on Newsly. We're a featured podcast on the Newsly platform. So if you use coupon code GHOST, you get 1 month free premium subscription. So you can see that. You just type in GHOST, you get 1 month free premium subscription. Please check out Newsly. They are a sponsor of the podcast, and this podcast is on there. Now, another thing we like to talk to people about is our relation Podmatch. So if you check out podmatch.com and use the affiliate link there, which is podmatch.com/sign up/Fam Electric Ghost, you can check out a tool that's like a Tinder for podcasters. The tool does it, gives you matches between host and guest. And then as a host, you get commission for the guests they show up on your podcast. You have integration with Calendly. You can set up podcast episodes with whatever tool you want. We use StreamYard. We use Spotify for podcasters. It doesn't affect the tool you use. It helps you schedule and communicate with your guest and host. So it finds you a match based on the criteria of your podcast. And then you have a bio and you have a pitch of what your podcast is about. You have a communication tool through the platform that allows you to talk through the platform through messages. It also has links to people's social media so you can connect to their website or their Instagram or their Facebook or their email and talk to them that way. Again, there's Calendly integration, where there's a calendar on Podmatch, and then it links up with Calendly. So you can schedule. We have our podcast scheduled out to June and July. And you get commission every month. Every 30 days, you get a PayPal with your commission rates from like one to the commission. And it's a cool tool to expand your podcast. It also encourages people to do Apple podcast reviews. We went from 0 reviews to about 17 reviews. Hope to get to like 100 reviews, but that helps engagement on the platform. This month we're been ranging from number 1 to number 6. Right now we're number 6 hosted podcast on the platform. So as a host, so it's a pretty cool tool. I know I've been going on about it, but check out the affiliate link again, podmatch.com/sign up/Phantom Electric Ghost and sign up today. So the other thing we're going to get into is we're in a campaign to increase our subscribers. So please check out our YouTube, and it's youtube.com/FM Electric Ghost and sign up for that. So right now, without further ado, we're going to go into our process and how we actually do sound design of our songs. Fam Electric Ghost, and we're going to start today with a session using our Zoom live track mixer and our Akai Force. You can see here. We start with, creating a plugin. We set it up. We do a MIDI track. So we'll bring the MIDI track in. And we do a controlled voltage track. So we'll bring the controlled voltage in. You can see that. Then you have to bring another audio track in for that controlled voltage track. So you see we'll bring another audio track in. So we brought the audio track in as number 5. Then we'll bring in another plugin. So we got another plugin track. Then we might bring in another drum track. and then we'll bring in maybe another plugin. And then when we go in, we'll actually start to set up each one of these to have some kind of clip. And we haven't defined it, but what you want to do though is you leave the audio tracks open for the MIDI channel and for the CV channel. You can't actually put anything in there. And that's something I didn't realize until you start using the Kai Force. And then, so we create all these plugins. Now, initially they come in and they don't have a length. So what we have to do is you go into clip and you make sure you're on the right one. So we go back to the matrix. So if we go back into the matrix with this button here, we see what we've got here is you click on the plugin, and I don't want that one, so I'll have to delete it. This one here I gotta get rid of because I don't need it. So, but I'll just stop it. Double click on it. Yeah, stop it. Double click on it. Yeah. There we go. Delete it. Now until when we hit the clip button, and what we see here is the loop length is only like 2. So we're going to go and increase that to, that's a little too low. We'll probably increase that to like 12. So we made that 12. And then we'll stop, go back into the matrix. And then we'll make sure we didn't, and we had it 12. So we got it, stop it. Go back into the matrix and start setting the links to all these tracks. I'm going to go in and do that for all of them. So pretty much that's what I'm going to do for that. I'm not going to get into that, but the next thing we do is we go into the mixer, and then we go into the IO, and this is real important. So for the CV track, so you go and double tap it and set the CV channel ports. So we're going to set the port over here, the first port. You can click on it, tap it, and then move that to 3, and move this gate port to 4. Because what we got going on here is we got a grandmother, Moog, and if we'll see what we've done, we go to the back of the Kai Force, and we've got the CV gate for 3 and 4. Then here in 4, so this is number 3, and number 3 is going to utility, and that utility is actually getting an input from oscillator 2, the pitch, and they're also taking the pitch from oscillator 1 and putting that into the mult. And once you have that in the mult, then the CV is picking up both of those, and then those are going and getting controlled by the Akai Force through the gate, CV gate input. So looking on there, and then we've got a Roland JD08, and that's going through USB-C MIDI directly into the Akai Force. So we got that. So I got the CV setting now is all set for CV port and gate 3 and 4. To close that, so that's set. The other thing you gotta do, we'll turn on the Roland Boutique JD08, so that's turned on, and then we got to go and set the audio files. So the audio channels, like right now, the monitor is now set to, and we're going to take care of the JD08, and then audio channel 2 is going to be set to in. So we got to go set that. Right now it's off. We can set it to in, and then we got to set the input. So the input line for the first one is just going to be channel 1, and an input line for the second one is going to be channel, once I click on it, channel 2. The inputs are corresponding to the MIDI channel. So audio 1 is going to MIDI channel 1, and audio 2 is going to CV channel. So then what you got to do is you also have to go into the MIDI and make sure that your port that what we're actually doing is picking up the right thing. So initially, you see the boutiques in there, but the first MIDI in is the force, and the MIDI out is going to be the boutique. And then for the way the boutique works, channel two is going to be the channel that we're going to use. So we're going to do that. So we set that up to do that. So now pretty much the other thing you have to do when you're dealing with this is like the plugins you got to set to like not be all the ports. So for each channel, we're going to leave that. But for the plugins, I'm going to set all those to not none. So we're going to set all those to none so you don't have things going on. Then the other thing that you do is you go back in the matrix and you start selecting the instruments. So if we go and load for the first instrument for the plugin one, I'm going to go to my instruments. I'm going to go down the list and I'm going to take the bass line. So I'm going to open up the bass line and find a nice bass line I want. So I'm going to look for like a detuned lead bass. So I'm going to grab that. And then I'll go back, hit the note button, and then go back into the matrix. Now this is actually going to be going to the MIDI channel. And the MIDI channel is going to be controlled by what I do on the JD08. So everything I do on the JD08 with all these controls is going to be controlled by that. The same thing on the CV channel is going to be controlled by what I do on the Moog. So whatever I do on the settings for the Moog, if I engage the sync oscillator, or I turn the Moog on, and I engage sync, or if I use the CP3 mixer, or if I use the high pass filter, which I actually have engaged here, where I've wired it in. And then we've got the ladder, 4 poles, 200 hertz, 20 hertz, 2 kilohertz, and then 20 kilohertz. That's the 4-pole filter. You can do a 1 to 2 on the keyboard track or 1 to 1. You can get here. You've got the envelope, and you've got the interesting thing where you got sustain as a level. You have a real spring reverb, and right now, we've got a trigger in coming from the. That's a preview of how we set up for the songs we're going to show you in this episode. So this is again Graham Electric Ghost using the Kai Force, the JD08, and the grandmother from Moog, and then we're also using the Zoom Live Track L8 as our recording multi-track instead of a DAW. Okay, so that was our description of our process. It was a little glitchy. Sorry about that. When you feature, it doesn't actually do exactly what you want. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to present a song that we wrote using that methodology. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our YouTube channel and we're going to play a song. We're going to play how that all got together. So we're going to get this up and hopefully you'll see it in a second. So this song is called Expansive is the Universal Voice, using that methodology we just showed you. And we're going to get into it as soon as we got it queued up, and we're going to get into that song right now. So yeah, we're gonna stop that for now and actually go into another song that we're but that was the process that we had at the beginning of using the Kai Force with the Mo grandmother and also using the JD08 boutique and also using a live track L8 to construct the songs. So the next song that we're gonna play is a song that we really like a lot, and it's kind of getting into our trash wave style. There's an album called Trash Wave. It's out there on all streaming services that we did. It's a combination of kind of punk and new wave, and we came up with another version, well, of that type of style. With this song called "Abandoned Fade." Opened it up, and it's kind of a risque song, kind of a Prince Dirty Mind type of song, and we're just gonna play it because we're really into it. So we're gonna play that track, and we got a video for it, so we're gonna play it right now, cue it up, and then we're gonna get into it. Son of a bitch, decadent witch. At the rave, you like to switch. Yeah, open it up, open it up, open it up. Know that you're into that stuff. Son of a bitch, decadent witch. At the rave. with the signal. So we're gonna not play the audio version, the video version of the song, and go switch to our SoundCloud version. I don't know what happened. Something happened with an interruption. I don't know, but like as our licensing, it's our song, but sometimes when we play one of our own songs that's actually gonna get released, and sometimes the licensing gives us a trouble. So we'll try to see if we're gonna have the same issue when we try to play it from our playlist. So we're gonna try to play it from a different place and set it up this way. So hold a second, we're gonna get into that and see if we can do it the other way. It's always fun when the internet doesn't want to play with us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and get into our presentation mode and share the screen and go listen to it with the audio from our SoundCloud. And hopefully it won't stop us there. So this is a song called Abandon Fate, Open It Up. We started it with the video going to play well. So now we're going to play it here. Yeah, with the rave, you like to switch, yeah. Open it up, open it up. And don't you know you like it rough? Open it up, open it up. Know that you're into that stuff. Son of a Mitch, decadent witch at the rave. You like to switch and open it up. You know you like that decadent stuff. Open it up, open it up. At the rave, you like that decadent stuff. Son of a bitch, the decadent witch. At the rave, you like to switch. Yeah. Open it up, open it up. You know you're into that decadent stuff. Open it up, open it up. Do it because you're in love with that stuff. Open it up, open it up, open it up. Son of a Mitch, decadent witches at the rave. You like to switch. Hit the decadent witch, son of a Mitch. At the rave, you like to switch. Yeah, open it up, open it up, open it up. You like to do this, do that stuff. Mother want it rough, open it up. Mother Mo said you're into that decadent stuff. Son of a bitch, decadent witch. At the rave, you like to switch. Open it up, open it up. You know you're into that decadent stuff. Mother Mo said you like it rough. Open it up, open it up, open it up. Get in witch. At the rave, you like a switch head. Done. Open it up. Mother Mo said you like you. Open it up. Open it up. Open it up. At the rave, you're into that decadent stuff. And what is it? You don't know anything about love. And at the rave, you're into that decadent stuff. What is it? You don't even love love. No, we're back. You don't even know. That was the song Open It Up. It was a use of a open it up, mode. Open it up. Grandma at the rave, you're into that decadent and holding it forth together. Yeah. And also using the Roland JD08 as I showed you earlier, how we put together songs. We're going to get into another song that we're working on. We have a bunch of other songs and we put them in different playlists.
Open it up,
Different
add the
playlists that we put
radio
together.
into that deck.
One song that we're really interested in, well, really into is the title track of this episode. You don't got it, but you flaunt it. We're gonna play that one next. That's actually a title track for the song. This is a cool instrumental. Using the type of grandmother radio.
Just cause that boy was doesn't mean
the master is
just cause what was
Let me get it. On my mixer, they won't come up. the next Sam Electric Ghost album that will be coming out very soon on all streaming services. And again, that's an example of using a bunch of hardware and with an Akai Force and multi-track in it. And one of the things that's interesting, the kind of wow sound is the whole
that you know.
it's ARP. ARP is
The devil that you know.
100 was on URI, and it was also used by Edgar Moore. It's very famous analog mono had a really interesting sound there. It had channels playing that, and I love it. I just in the interpretation of that sound. There's a modern mode, kind of like mini mode, except it's modular, which means you go on it with voltage and override the workflow of the synthesizer and get do all kinds of interesting things that the mini mode didn't do. Mini mode doesn't have like FM capability. Mini mode doesn't have reverb. And so it has a lot of capability. It doesn't have 3 oscillators. It has 2 we use it a lot to use organic tape down to hear it in and we're going to get into it's allowed loud and then the devil and play on word even so it's like a loud desolation game. Playing that song right now, and as using the same type of collection of it, the grandmother J800 using our Zoom L8 together and all now we get once we cue it up.
What kind of loud love is this? With the French kiss now on the lips. What kind of loud love is this? Wait, let me use my fist. What kind of loud love is this? Kiss now on the lips. Roll back your hug in tight. Roll back. What kind of loud look is this? No, not only French kiss your lips. I wanna pump those hips. What kind of loud love is this? Pump those hips. What kind of loud love is this? You know I'm gonna get it in deep pink. Look at my lips. What kind of loud love is this? Yeah, you get loud when I pump your hips. But what kind of loud love is this? You get pumped and you do it like this. Screaming like a goddess of F. French kiss. What kind of loud love is this? Doing it with squirt when I pump those hips. Squirt when I put it in. You're gonna squirt it's more than what you think. What kind of loud love is this? When I pump those hips. What kind of loud love is this? Go back your eyes and pump hips. What kind of loud love is this? Go back your eyes and pump hips. What kind of loud love is this? What kind of loud love is this? Pump hips. Pump hips. Pump hips. It's not on my lips. Hips. What kind of loud love is this? You know I'm gonna do one French kiss. Pink. Pump hips.
So we're gonna get into another song. It's more of a instrumental. It's used that I have some words repeated in a kind of chant way. So we're gonna get into a song that Sonic Whisper, and we're gonna play that right now. So now we're going to seg into another song called Hey Yeah. And discordance, especially with the grandmother mode. There's something about that grandmother mode. But the analog, you got it. Spring reverb, nothing like analog synth. Can't really do that with a digital synth. So that grandmother bar mode, very much. It's got a lot of power. And right there is using a lot of ideas of dissonance and discordance, kind of punk aesthetic. It purposely like a lot of discordance, a lot of feedback, a lot of white noise, and kind of really gnarly sounds coming from they use FM synthesis and overloading a CP3 mixer on a Moog. If anybody's into that tech, with old kind of analog synthesis, along with the combination of the steadiness and predictability of a modern drum beat and arpeggiation through the courtesy of the Kai Force, we're able to kind of bridge a couple things together, like digital beats and construction arpeggiation with the Nikai Force with the analog kind of ramshackle nature of what the Moog can do. And so we brought those together, and then also in there is the digital nature of the JD08 Roland Boutique synthesizer, which has up to 4 parts and multiple LFOs and all kinds of cool things going on. So a lot of expansive sound there, a lot of what we call stream of consciousness music. And we're actually going to get into another song that we did before today. This has been an episode about our music, or actually showing our music, or letting you hear our music. We're going to get into a song called Breath, 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 which is another kind of sound painting type of song. We're going to get into that right now. We're going to get into one last song on this session. It's called Codependency, The Devil You Know. Thing about this song that's interesting is it came out back in 2017 on our first of two Phantom Electric Ghost albums. It came out on an album called Indigo Menace, which was the initial version of the song called The Devil You Know back then, which is what we didn't call it Codependency. And then we made another version on Synesthesia Neo Soul Surrender, which was a more fleshed out version of the song. Since then, we've done maybe two more versions, and this version we like a lot. Just as a musician, you learn more, you get better capabilities. So in this version of the song, we're using the Kai Force with the JD08. And we think this version of the song is very interesting compared to the Juno version that we used back in the day with the System 1M. And so we're going to play this as the last song of the collection of songs that we were talking today about our style of music. Expansive sound is a style of music that is cross genre, a lot of jazz, a lot of punk, a lot of synth, new wave, progressive rock type of aesthetics. And this song kind of is a story of how love is falling, that it's in codependency. It's like the opposite of our song ascending into darling mode. It's about a codependent relationship where there's a lot of negativity, a lot of uh not positive uh, reinforcement of each other. So let's get into The Devil You Know. Is it like the devil that you know? Then the devil that you don't. Is it like the devil that you know? Then the devil that you don't. Feel anything, feel pain. Is mercy compared to
know, then the devil that you don't. To feel anything, even pain, is mercy compared to desolation game. The whispered rumors, you whispered rumors. Ears don't offer a hand to leave her alone. Then the travel will hang loosely to the hand of the safety rope. The ears don't offer anything to the phone. The travel woman hanging loosely to a tangible safety rope. The devil. You just love the devil that you know. Then the devil that you don't feel anything in pain. His mercy compared to the desolation game. Smiles for the world with rumors. Not even a hand to appears offered to the traveling woman. It's a tumor. It's a rumor. It keeps you down. And the gloom. And the gloom mirror. And the gloom mirror. You know, it's the devil. Mercy compared to the desolation being alone. Gave that dog a bone. You just love the devil that you know, then the devil that you don't. To feel anything, even pain, is mercy to the desolation game. Smile for the world, you see, for the world, not for free. You know your pain is not ecstasy. It's the only mirror that you see. Grab a woman that's nothing need. Nothing but the desolation sea. You don't know the devil that you know. Yeah, the devil that you don't. If you always need some pain, it's mercy to the destination game. It's the reverse out of hand to appear to offer. Because they don't know what the salvation how to help her. Hang loosely to a dental safety rope. Codependence is just another dope. But that is just like dope. Hanging loosely to a dental safety rope. Codependence is dope. You just love the devil that you know, and the devil that you don't.
So that was Codependency, the devil you know. And we're going to seg out that. That was the last of our Expansive song preview. So you get to see what our process is, get to hear the music, and typically we interview people. You can check us out on this podcast. We've got the link there to our YouTube, which is youtube.com/@FamElectricGhost. We interview tons of people, multiple genres, not just musicians, all kinds of people from life coaches to therapists to authors, executives, CEOs, business owners. You can check us out. We also ask you to check out Podmatch, which is a really cool tool for podcasters. Talk about that again. We're going to show that link. So the best way for finding guests for your going to podmatch.com/sign up at Phantom Electric Ghost. You can use that if you're a podcast guest or host to find ways to get on podcast if you're a guest. And then you can use it as a host to get guests to be on your podcast. And it basically is a Tinder for podcasters, finds matches based on your podcast criteria, shows your podcast pitch, shows you the bios of your guest, shows you their URLs, gives you their photos, their promotional photos, their URLs, and even gives you questions that they like to be asked and examples of how they've done other podcasts. So then when you go to do your podcast, you have integration with Calendly. You can see a calendar. We have booked up to like July. And it's a really cool tool because it has a communication tool so you can direct message your podcast guest through the tool. We have links to their social media so you can link up to them on Facebook and YouTube and their own personal websites. And it encourages people to do reviews on Apple Podcast. And you can use whatever tool that you use for podcasting, like StreamYard. We use StreamYard. We use Spotify for podcasters. You can use Wisdom. You can use whatever you want. It just allows you to book the guest so that you have a management tool for your guest and to actually get commission when you complete. So there's a review process at the end where the host reviews the guest reviews the host. They mark it complete. Then after 30 days, you get your commission. So you can still do interviews if you're not into paying. You can find people who you can do free interviews for, but you can do up to 10 times commission for certain podcast guests. And it's a really cool tool to expand your podcast, get additional reviews, to link up with a podcast host community and guest community. So if you didn't know how you're going to get guests, for years and years, we used Instagram and we still use Instagram, but we went from 4 guests a month to 14, 15 guests a month. And actually, for a $6 fee every month, we're making about $150 a month from commissions. So it's a really good bang for the buck for something that we didn't even expect to be making any money from. And it's increased our profile in the podcast world. It gets you a way to link up with people through PodPros. You can link up with other podcasters and actually get into different sessions together, network. And it's a really cool thing to check out. So we encourage you to do that. And we'll sign up for today and check out also the fact that this podcast is going to be on Newsly. So listen to us on Newsly. We are a featured podcast on the Newsly platform. Again, we're going to mention that if you use our coupon code GHOST, you get 1 month free premium subscription so you can stop scrolling and start listening. Newsly is a really cool way to listen to podcasts. Again, we're a featured podcast on the Newsly platform. This podcast will be on Newsly later today. Thank you again. Podcast will be through Spotify for podcasters. It'll be on multiple platforms, including iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and Spotify video podcast. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening to Fan Electric Ghost.